So anything would like to share from previous class? Hope you are learning something on fuel cells. Last class we have elaborately seen what are the losses associated with the fuel cells. Fuel cell should deliver theoretical voltage of 1.23 in the case of hydrogen oxygen fuel cell theoretically. But there are several reasons it will not be able to develop or deliver 1.23 theoretical voltage. And there are several losses associated with the fuel cells. Those losses can be classified or grouped into 5: activation loss, ohmic loss, concentration loss, deviation from the Nernst equation, deviation from the thermodynamic voltage. So, except deviation from the thermodynamic voltage and Nernstian deviation, other three losses to the maximum extent can be minimized. Concentration polarization or concentration loss can be minimized if you have a better separator which will not allow the fuel molecule to pass through. Ohmic loss or ohmic resistance can be reduced or loss can be made remedy provided if you use a better conducting electrolyte or if the catalysts are having a good conductivity. Activation loss can be minimized if you use efficient catalyst. Instead of nickel, if you use platinum, you will get better performance. Instead of sole platinum, if you use co-catalyst containing platinum, you will get much better performance. So losses in the fuel cells are inevitable and it requires a remedy. So it requires a remedy. Depending on the loss, there is a technology to improve on that. There is a technology to improve on that. Nernstian deviation is because of the concentration terms, concentration of oxidized product, concentration of the reactant. And anyway, thermodynamic voltage you will be never able to get. OCV is always less. And we have also seen that over the time, the performance of the fuel cell is getting declining. Apart from the losses, the performance that you can get today if you assemble a fuel cell will not be the same as that after a month or after a year. Several reasons. Aging effect. Morphology of the catalyst may not be same. Electrolyte may not be having the same conductivity today and after a month or a year. And there may be a leakage over the time. Recrystallization, morphological change, increased corrosion, because either acid or base only is going to be the electrolyte in fuel cell. Of course, if you move to MCFC and YSC, SYFC, there are no issues of this nature. Low temperature fuel cell, either you have to use acid or alkali, which are prone for corrosion, which are prone to corrosion of the components. So material loss will be there. Material will be deactivated. Catalyst poisoning will all limit the longevity of the fuel cell operations. You know, there are most of the automobile manufacturers, they have a consideration to electrify the automobiles using fuel cells also, not necessarily battery operated vehicles. FCFC, fuel cell operated electric vehicle, FCEV. Most of the automobile manufacturers, they have a unit working on these fuel cells. I myself have seen at least 15 years before during my postdoc, hybrid electric vehicle, partially by gasoline, partially by fuel cells. 15 years before itself, I had seen. I traveled in that. Anyway, so anything would like to add from previous class? I hope you are learning something on the fuel cell. We'll go ahead. I think I have 2-3 numerical problems. So then we'll go back to DAFC, direct alcohol oxidation fuel cells. So I'm sure this problem is familiar to you. Last class we have worked out. Okay, so anybody has trouble with this? We'll go to next problem. Yes.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, in the first numerical problem,
Yeah.
we will select the series connection or parallel, sir.
No, in the first part of the problem, you are asked to connect in series. It's not option.
Okay, sir.
How many
Okay.
cells in series? It is already given. You have to connect in series. The second
Yes.
option, so you are asked to arrange in parallel. So which one you will choose?
Series.
It depends on the requirement, because you have to have a 300 voltage supplied by the fuel cell stack. Which configuration will deliver 300 voltage? Obviously, series connected in this case, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Anybody would like to add anything on this? So I'm sure there are many electrical engineers. You will be able to tell where you will select a parallel connection, where you will select a series connection. I'm sure you should be able to tell. Voltage is very vital. Meeting the voltage demand for a device for a proper operation is vital. That has to be met. Power may be same, but current may be little fluctuating. Voltage is very important. If required voltage is not met, the intended device will not function properly. It may not start up, definitely. You see here in this case 300 voltage and another case 0.6 voltage only. With the 0.6 voltage, whether it will run, you will get power, but it will not start. Required voltage is very less. We'll move to the next problem. Consider a single hydrogen fuel cell delivering 4 ampere current output. The anode reaction is given, cathode reaction is given, global fuel cell reaction is given. What is the molar rate of hydrogen consumed for the electrochemical reaction? B. What is the molar rate of oxygen consumed for the electrochemical reaction? What is the rate of water generation at the cathode in grams per hour? Molecular mass or molecular weight of water is 18 grams per mole. Of course, you can also take the molecular mass of hydrogen, 1 gram per mole. Molecular mass of oxygen is 16 grams per mole. Oxygen atom. So please read the question and try to explore what you are asked to do. There is a single hydrogen oxygen fuel cell. So it is written only hydrogen fuel cell. Hydrogen fuel cell means it is hydrogen oxygen fuel cells, because oxygen is must. When I say alcohol fuel cell, alcohol oxygen fuel cell. So since oxygen is common, it is left. Either hydrogen oxygen fuel cell or hydrogen fuel cell. It is understood. So will deliver is delivering 4 ampere current. Looks very high current delivery, not current density, current. And since this is hydrogen fuel cell, we have anode oxidation reaction and cathode reaction. And the combination of both is the total reaction or global reaction. And you are asked to estimate what is the rate of hydrogen being consumed. Similarly for oxygen. So when hydrogen and oxygen are consumed in this fuel cell, automatically it's going to generate water. By doing so, it develops a 4 ampere current and also theoretically 1.23 voltage. So solving this problem, we will be able to convince that fuel cell is a water generating engine. That's why I told in the beginning of this unit, fuel cell is an engine, water generating engine. Yes, it's a water generating engine. Let's see in 1 hour how much water it will generate. if it is going to deliver 4 ampere current. If it's going to deliver 4 ampere current. How to go about it? Anyone has some idea? Anyone has an idea? We have already seen in the first unit Faraday's law. What is Faraday's law? It states in an electrochemical reaction or in an electrolytic reaction, the amount of material being consumed or being generated is directly proportional to the charge consumed or accumulated. Or directly you can tell the amount of material being consumed or generated or formed is directly proportional to the current that is passed to the cell. So mathematically you can write M, the amount of material. It may be in moles if it is a small number. If it is a little higher, maybe milligram, gram, kilogram, kgs, ton, etc. is directly proportional to current. So if you remove this proportionality, the rate of production and or consumption of any material in an electrochemical process is equal to I by NF, is equal to I by NF, where the I remains same, current. N is, this is an electrochemical reaction. There should be a defined number of electrons involved in the reaction per mole. F is having a usual meaning. F is having the usual meaning. Can someone work out how these moles per second coming for this these quantities? So this is rate of consumption of hydrogen, rate of consumption of oxygen, or rate of production of water. So rate is with respect to time, right? With respect to time, how much is consumed or how much is generated. Maybe per second, per minute, per hour, per day, per week, per month, per millennium, etc. So current is ampere, N is mole equivalence, moles, and F is coulombs. Coulomb is nothing but ampere second. Already current is ampere. Ampere will cancel out. So this mole equivalent, per mole equivalent. So it becomes top, mole will become at the top. So moles per second. Moles per second. So please remember these conversion units also. So as we know that 1 ampere current is equal to 1 coulomb second. 1 voltage is equal to, so 1 joule per charge. Electrical power equal to current into voltage, ampere into voltage. So they are nothing but coulomb per second, joules per coulomb. Joule second is nothing but watt. Or, so you forget these, ampere into voltage is watt. We'll be using these quantities. Let's come back. So what is the molar rate of hydrogen consumed for the electrochemical reaction? What is the formula you will use? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. Yes. Yeah. So is it possible to estimate now? Molar rate of hydrogen consumed according to this equation, hydrogen becoming 2H plus 2 electrons. The rate, maybe you can put R or some terminology you can put. R rate of hydrogen consumed is equal to I by NF. I by NF. What is I? Current. How much current this fuel cell generates? 4 ampere divided by NF. F, you know, 96,500 coulombs. That 4 ampere you can convert into coulomb second or coulomb per second. What is N here? Number of electrons involved in the reaction. You have been given anodic reaction. Anodic reaction. Yeah.
You have Google Pay. Only 100%. You have Google Pay?
Yeah.
With your mobile.
Same number. So you have been given a anodic reaction, H2 giving rise to 2H plus 2 electron. How many electrons are involved in this reaction? You will blindfold and tell it is
2.
2. So the rate of hydrogen being consumed is equal to I by NF, 4 coulomb second divided by 2 divided by mole equivalence into 96,500 coulomb. How much you will be getting? Okay. Seth Raman has written 207 into 10 power minus 4 moles per second. That's it. That's it. That's it. I by NF. Please remember, we'll be using frequently this. The same equation we have used in the first unit to calculate how much amount of aluminum being generated, copper being generated in an electrolytic process. So similarly, you can do for oxygen consumption. What is the oxygen reaction? Here. 1 mole of hydrogen is involved. 1 mole of oxygen is involved. So here the number of electron becomes, instead of 2, it is 4. Per mole of oxygen is involving and 4 electrons are involved. So the same current, 4 ampere or coulomb per second divided by 4 into 96,500 coulombs. So a similar number of this order you will get it. Half of this you will get, because that is 2 electrons, this is 4 electron. Yes, half of this. Yes. So same way you please try for oxygen water generation. Same way try for water generation. That is the third question. What is the rate of water generation at the cathode in grams per hour? In grams per hour. Here they didn't specify, so we restricted up to moles per second only. Now you have to convert that moles per second into grams per hour. It's only unit conversion, nothing great in that. Same way. So the rate of water generation is equal to I by NF. I is same current, 4 ampere divided by N into F, 96,500. What is the N? What is the value of N? Two or 4?
2, sir.
Okay, very good. Hope so you understood why it is 2. Correct? So 4 ampere divided by 2 into 96,500 coulombs. You will get the same number of that hydrogen generation. That is moles per second. Convert this mole into gram. What will you do? Multiply with the molecular weight. 18 grams per mole. Mole will cancel out. You will get grams. 2.07 into 10 power minus 5 moles per second. Multiply with the 18 grams per mole. Mole will cancel out. You will get 2.07 into 10 power minus 5 into 18 grams per second. Now the second has to be converted into hours. So to do with the 3,600 will become second into hours. This is how. So this is the hydrogen oxidation reaction. We have seen rate of hydrogen production is I by NF, 4 coulomb per second, 4 ampere or 4 coulomb per second. Number of electron involved is 2. So 4 by 2 into 96,500, 2.07 into 10 power minus 7 I am getting. Sedraman, I am getting 7 or 5, please confirm. 5 or 7, I don't know. So for oxygen, 1 mole oxygen, this is half mole. 1 mole, 4 electrons are involved. N equal to 4. So 4 ampere or 4 coulomb per second divided by 4 into 96,500, half of that. Similarly, for water generation, 4 by 2 into 96,500, 18 grams per mole. Convert second into hours, 3,600. 1.38 gram per hour. In 1 hour, this fuel cell generating 4 ampere current also will generate 1.34 grams of water. In 24 hours, how many grams it will generate? If the same fuel cell is operated for a week, how many liters of water it will generate? The water can be used. If the water is not removed, what will happen? So much amount of water, what will happen? If it is not removed from the fuel cell, it will clog. That's why I told in the case of fuel cell stack, managing the water management in the fuel cell is big problem, big issue. It has to be managed. I hope you could follow these numerical problems. I have 1 or 2 more. I will make you complicate. Now, third problem. Consider a 20 cell stack operating steadily in series with a 100 centimeter square active area per electrode with a current density of 0.8 ampere per centimeter square. The fuel cell nominal voltage is OCV is 0.6 voltage per plate. Determine the water production in grams per hour from this stack. Determine the stack voltage and the electrical power output. Same way. So you have been given a fuel cell consisting of 20 cells connected in series. They have the area of 100 centimeter square, delivering a discharge current of 0.8 ampere per centimeter square, current density. And a cell generates 0.6 voltage. You are asked to estimate B, determine the stack voltage and the electrical power. After that, determine the amount of water this fuel cell stack generates. Please try, same way. Second one, B, you must be able to tell straightforward. So this is not lecture, this is numerical problem you will have to work out. Take pen and paper and try to work out. What is the stack voltage you will get? A single fuel cell will generate 6.6 voltage. You have a 20 cells connected in series, not in parallel. So additive voltage is additive. V1, V2, V3, V etc. V20. So 20 into 0.6. Some number. How much you get?
12 volts.
12 voltage. So current density is given and area is given. What is the current it can generate? 0.8 ampere per centimeter square into 100 centimeter square. Centimeter square will cancel out. You have 100 into 0.8, 80 ampere current. You have the stack voltage, 12 voltage. Now you have the stack current, 80 ampere. 12 into 80, you are going to get the electrical power output. How much it is?
960 watts.
968. 96 or 960?
960.
Okay, 96 watt. So that's why I told you this is very straightforward. Now, for working out A, you have to follow the previous numerical problem. In the previous numerical problem, you were asked to estimate the consumption of hydrogen and oxygen, then generation of water. Here, you are asked to estimate directly water production. You have to follow the same thing. You need to know the global fuel cell reaction. Global fuel cell reaction. Same way. So the amount of water being generated is equal to I by NF. I is current, N you know, F you know. You will get in moles, convert the mole into grams by multiplying mass of water 18 grams per mole. So what is I here? Current. How much is the current this stack generates? Current density is 0.8 ampere centimeter square. Current is 80 ampere. 80 ampere or 80 coulomb per second divided by 2 into 96,500 into 18 into 30,600. It is done. Straight away you can do. In one go you can do. In one way you can do. This is how. 0.6 into 20, 12 voltage. Current density is 0.8 ampere centimeter square. You have 100 centimeter square area. So 0.8 into 100, 80 ampere. Power output, electrical voltage and electrical current. Current. 12 into 80, 960 watt. 960 watt. So to estimate the current water generated, you need to know the fuel cell reactions. Per mole of water generation, how many electron is involved? This equation is given properly. This is 2 moles, 4 electron. Per mole of water generation involving 2 electrons. So the amount of water being generated, rate I by NF, 80 by 2 into 96,500. So many moles of water per second. So this convert these moles per second into grams per hour. You get, and 20 cells are there. This is from one cell, and since the 20 cells are there, multiply with the 20. So you get from such a 20 cell connected in series, you get half kg of water per hour. 24 hours, 1 week, 1 month, how much water it will generate? It will flood. Fuel cell itself will be flooded after a week. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Sedaraman and Halis, they are responding. I'm not seeing the chat box frequently. So since I'm in the presentation mode. Anyway, good. So let me complicate more. Yes. One of you please read this problem. Very big problem. Looks very big. One of you please read my screen.
Consider a portable 20 centimeter square active area fuel cell operating steadily at 0.75 volt and 0.6 ampere per centimeter square. The fuel utilization efficiency is 50% and the cathode stoichiometry is 2.3. The fuel cell is expected to run for 3 hours a day before being recharged. The cathode operates on ambient air and the anode runs off compressed
Hydrogen.
hydrogen gas. Determine the volume of hydrogen fuel tank required if it is stored as compressed gas at 200 atm and at 298 Kelvin. How large would a pure oxygen container be if it was used to provide the oxidizer? Consider 200 atm storage pressure and 298 Kelvin average ambient temperature.
Very tough. Looks very tough problem. So you understand the problem? All of you understand the problem? This numerical problem.
Yes.
Yes, right? What you are asked to do? You are asked to estimate how much barrel of hydrogen should be. Then similarly, how much barrel of oxygen should be. If they are compressed at a pressure of 200 atmosphere, that is equal to 20.26 megapascal at 298 Kelvin. 298 is room temperature? Yes, room temperature. So then, what is the fuel cell characteristic? It has an area of 20 centimeter square. It has the nominal voltage of operating voltage of 0.75 and a discharge current of 0.6 amp, current density of 0.6 ampere centimeter square. Then this is definitely hydrogen oxygen fuel cell. Hydrogen is an oxygen fuel and oxygen is a oxidizer, oxidant. You have fuel utilization efficiency just 50% only. You may have barrels of hydrogen, only 50% is utilized. Then cathode stoichiometry is, that is little better, over 1, 2.3. So estimate the volume of hydrogen, estimate the volume of oxygen. How to do? So any new terminologies here which you are not aware of previously? Have you heard about fuel utilization efficiency? Yes, right, last class. Have you heard about stoichiometry? Yes. We have anode stoichiometry, cathode stoichiometry. We also saw yesterday utilization efficiency of a fuel or fuel utilization efficiency is also known as Faradaic efficiency. Fuel utilization efficiency is also known as Faradaic efficiency. What is stoichiometry? Anyone remember last class? What is stoichiometry? Anyone remember? Inverse of the fuel utilization efficiency or inverse of the Faradaic efficiency is the stoichiometry. We have anodic stoichiometry and we have a cathodic stoichiometry. You remember, so for a better performing fuel cell, this stoichiometry number should be more than 1. More than 1. If it is less than 1, So the fuel and oxidants are less used. So same formula we will be using how we have used previously two numerical problems. The rate of hydrogen consumed or the rate of oxygen consumed or the rate of water generated, N is equal to I by NF. I by NF. That is the usual formula coming from the Faraday's equation, Faraday's law. In addition to that, you will use here stoichiometry. That's the only difference. You will use stoichiometry. All other things remain same. So stoichiometry for cathodic it is given 2.3. But anodic it is not given. How will you get anodic stoichiometry? What is a stoichiometry? Inverse of the fuel utilization efficiency. Fuel utilization efficiency is 50%. It means what is the number? 0.5. Correct? Inverse of it is 1 by 0.5. 1 by 0.5 is, you know. So lambda A is known, lambda C is known, I is known, N is known, F is known. You estimate the rate of hydrogen being consumed. Similarly, you estimate rate of oxygen being consumed. That is only rate, but you need to know the barrel of hydrogen required, barrel of oxygen is required. How to convert this moles per gram, moles per second? Of course, you can convert this moles per second into grams, grams per hour, grams per second also. But what is required is volume is required. Have you come across a volume equation anywhere so far? And pressure is given, temperature is given. Is there any equation connecting pressure, volume, temperature? Have you come across previously?
Ideal.
Yes, right. What is that equation name? Ideal gas equation. Ideal gas equation. PV equal to RT. Or very specifically, PV equal to nRT. P is pressure, V is volume, N is number of moles, grams per atomic number or molecular mass or atomic mass, R is universal constant 8.314 joule per Kelvin per second, joules per Kelvin, and T is temperature, Kelvin. You know pressure, 200 atmosphere or 20.26 megapascal or 20.6 into 10 power 6 Pascal. Pascal is Newton per meter or atmosphere. 298 Kelvin. Temperature you know, R you know, N. What is this N? Mass. Mass of what? Mass of hydrogen. Mass of oxygen. Rate you are calculating. That rate you are converting into grams or mass by multiplying its atomic number or molecular mass. So use this equation PV equal to nRT. You know all quantity except V. That V is the one you are asked to estimate in both cases. You could follow? Could you follow? Difficult? So it would have been nice if it would have been offline class. Ideal gas equation, yes, PV equal to nRT. All capital letters. Okay, don't worry, I have already worked out. This is what fuel utilization efficiency is given. Fuel utilization efficiency is also known as Faraday's efficiency. Inverse of it is stoichiometry. If it is a fuel, it is anodic stoichiometry. If it is an oxidant, it is cathodic stoichiometry. So lambda A is equal to 1 by FA equal to 1 by 0.5. How this 0.5? 50% is 2. Cathodic stoichiometry is already given 2.3 number. So the formula hydrogen required and hydrogen consumed is equal to generally I by NF, or if area is given IA by NF, lambda A you know, so lambda is 2, I is current, area is A. So this number of electron involved in oxygen reaction, hydrogen oxidation is 2, you are getting moles per second. Then some condition is given. How many steadily operating, recharged, how many hours? Per day 24 hours, and it is operated for 3 days or somewhere it is given. Required operating 3 days. 3 days or how many days? 3 days. So multiply with 24, 3 days, you get 37. What is this unit? Moles. So this mole can be converted into number of moles by dividing its, by multiplying its atomic number. Mass by atomic number is the number of moles. So this is the ideal equation, P equal to N or T. N you are getting from here, okay? You are getting from here. P 20.26 megapascal, 20.26 into 10 power 6 Pascal, or this number. Temperature you know, universal constant you know, this is the mole fraction. So you get so many liters volume. How many liters? Answer I don't have. Answer I don't have? Yes, I don't have the answer. You please work out. Similarly for oxygen. Only difference is number of electrons and the mass of oxygen. Number of moles and the number of electrons only will be different. All other things remain same. So oxygen required is 2.27 liters. Hydrogen, half of that it must be. Because in a global reaction, so half mole of hydrogen, half mole of oxygen, and 1 mole of hydrogen, or double. I don't know whether I'm complicating or it is too simple for you. I don't know. Is there any other problem? I have one more. So other one, please read. Anyone else? This numerical problem.
Consider it.
Not able to hear.
Consider a 26 hydrogen RPM fuel cell stack producing a total of 2.0 kilowatt at 10 voltage.
Correct.
A, what is the total stack mass flow rate of hydrogen if the anode stoichiometry is 1.3?
Yes.
Second question, if the theoretical maximum voltage of a single cell is 1.23 volt, what is the voltaic efficiency of a single cell? Assume all cells have the same voltage.
Very good. You please understand this problem and try to work out. So you have here 25 cells in a stack that produces a power of 2000 watt or 2 kilowatt and delivers a stack voltage of 10 volt. What is the rate of hydrogen required if the anodic stoichiometry is 1.3? B, if a single fuel cell theoretical voltage is 1.23, because this is hydrogen oxygen fuel cell or PMFC, what is the voltage efficiency of a single fuel cell? Second one, straightforward, you can tell. What is the voltage efficiency of a single fuel cell? What is voltage efficiency? Have we defined voltage efficiency previously? Yes or no?
It's
E by E.
Yeah, so the practical voltage or OCV divided by the theoretical voltage. We will never be able to get the OCV that is equal to theoretical voltage. Yes, theoretical voltage is 1.23. The ratio between the practical voltage divided by the theoretical voltage is the voltage efficiency. Maybe you give it in the percentage by multiplying with 100. So what is the voltage efficiency of this stack? Yes. Yes. 32% roughly. 32.5 exactly. Others, those who could not follow, please work out. Okay, now let's move to the problem A. What is the stack mass flow rate of hydrogen if the anode stoichiometry is 1.3? How will you do this? What is the formula you will use? Same formula you will use it. What formula? N hydrogen, the rate of hydrogen consumed is equal to, or to be flown is equal to I by NF generally. If stoichiometric ratio is given, you have to add lambda. If area is given, if current density is not given, if area is given, it will become lambda IA, this equation. Lambda IA by NF, if area is given. If current density is given, you use I. Okay. So anode stoichiometry is 1.3. What is the fuel utilization efficiency in this case? Let's see. Let's see who tells.
1 by 1.
So 1 by 1.3 into 100. Okay, you'll get some percentage. It will be less than 50 or higher than 50. Anyway, it can be worked out. It's not a big deal. Okay, that's not important. So what is the current you will get? Lambda, you know, 1.3 already given. You need to know I. N and F, anyway, you know. Hydrogen is 2, so 96,500. I only you require. But power is given, voltage is given. You should be able to estimate what is the current. Yes, right? I think it cannot be much simpler than this problem. Did you get? So what is the current? 20,000 divided by 10. 200 ampere? Yes, 200 ampere. Let me see whether I have worked this problem or not. No, I didn't work out this problem. So anyway, so 1.3 into 200 ampere or coulomb per second divided by 2 into 96,500. So you will get so many moles. That's what it is asked. You stop there. You are not asked to convert into grams or kgs. That's all. I think I'm done with the numerical problems. And also I'm done with the PMFC. Let's move to methanol fuel cell. Anybody would like to add, make some comment, clarifications so far? We have done with the hydrogen oxygen fuel cell or PMFC or hydrogen fuel cell. The simplest fuel cell reaction is hydrogen oxidation. Hydrogen need not be the only fuel. There are many other fuel molecules can be used for fuel cell applications. Generally, they can be called as alcohols. If alcohols are directly used instead of reforming into hydrogen, such fuel cells are called DAFC. DAFC, direct alcohol oxidation fuel cells, or direct alcohol fuel cells, DAFC. Depending on the type of the alcohol, they are called DMFC, direct methanol oxidation fuel cell or direct methanol fuel cell, or DEFC, direct ethanol oxidation fuel cell, or DEFC, direct ethanol fuel cells, ethylene glycol, many other alcohols you can use. Generally DAFC, direct alcohol oxidation fuel cell. It is not reformed into hydrogen. Hydrogen can be obtained from methanol or ethanol, because in methanol we have 4 hydrogen. In ethanol, I am sure you'll be able to tell how many hydrogens are there. CH3, CH2, OH. 6 hydrogens are there. You can estimate how much percentage of hydrogen you can have. Methanol is much more richer in hydrogen compared to ethanol. Percentage may be vary. So reforming hydrogen containing molecules or fuels into hydrogen fuel is another one way. But using directly is the technologically merit. So you don't need to reform the fuel in that case. You can directly use raw methanol or raw ethanol. You no need to convert methanol into hydrogen or ethanol into hydrogen. So this becomes a separate fuel cell called DAFC and very specifically DMFC. So same, everything same, only fuel is different. Same catalyst, same membrane, same electrolyte. So you feed the fuel, methanol, bottom. So take out excess, feed the oxygen or air, bottom, and take out the excess or water. Same Nafion. What is the reaction? The cathode reaction is same. What reaction? Same oxygen reduction reaction. What is anode reaction? This is the difference. There we had hydrogen oxidation, HOR. Now we have MOR, methanol oxidation. If it is a methanol, it is a methanol oxidation fuels. If it is ethanol, EOR, ethanol oxidation reaction. How it is getting oxidized? What is the electrochemical reaction or charge transfer reaction? This is the reaction. And it is not occurring at 0 voltage. It occurs at theoretically 0.02 voltage. And this potential is remains same, 1.23. And what is the global reaction? This is the global reaction for methanol fuel cell. CH3OH plus 3/2 O2 giving rise to CO2 plus 2H2O. What is the thermodynamic voltage? It is slightly less compared to the hydrogen oxygen fuel cell. 1.21, not 1.23. Why is that slightly less? Because methanol oxidation doesn't occur at 0 voltage, unlike hydrogen oxidation. It is having some more potential. You require much more better catalyst that you can use it in methanol hydrogen oxidation fuel cell. So that's why you require co-catalyst, CO tolerance catalyst. Sole platinum alone may not be useful for DMFC. You require co-catalyst. You require co-catalyst. I will stop now. Maybe more on methanol fuel cell. Maybe we'll catch up in the next class. So if you have anything to share or make some comment clarification, you can do so. Okay.